Hello, I'm Sam Gallimore.
And I'm Mrs. Gallimore.
And we are here today to talk about our tech setup, oddly enough, because it seems to come up a good bit in conversation. Like in the last 6 months or so, there's been a bunch of people who are like buying new setups or thinking about upgrading theirs and theirs. Good Lord, I can speak English. And you've also run into this surprisingly a good bit.
Yeah, and it seems to be coming up mostly with having kids and how to keep them safe with computers in the house.
So mainly the parental control aspect for you.
Yeah, I think that's it. And also just like fulfilling all the basic needs of computers in the house.
So that gets us into like, what do we mean by tech setup? Because it's not actually that fancy. It's relatively straightforward, which is part of the reason we talk about it. Mm-hmm. It's just there's a gaming PC hooked up to a smart TV, which is not connected to the internet at all. The PC is just using the smart TV as a monitor. And we have some speakers hooked up to it, but you get basically the same effect with a sound bar. So it's a pretty straightforward gaming PC plus TV plus basically a sound bar.
Bonus of the sound bar over speakers is that they're a lot less exciting looking for babies to grab at.
Yeah, the little kiddo does like grabbing at the speakers a good bit.
Yeah.
So that's in a nutshell, what we're going to go over is the TV aspect and kind of the home theater part of it. And then there's the gaming part of it. And then there's how all of this ties into our like parental controls and stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you were to buy all of this brand new, including like mounting hardware for the TV, it'd be about $1,300. But you don't need a gaming PC. Any PC will work just about. So if you get like a mini PC off of Amazon, it's like $800.
Yeah, he likes playing video games, so we have a gaming PC.
Yes. But you don't have to for it. You could just do any old PC and it'll still work fine. So those are the three aspects we're going to go over. The like TV/home theater aspect, the gaming aspect, and then the parental controls aspect. Great. So starting off with the home theater aspect, shockingly affordable. We got this TV. The main thing is it's a 65-inch TV. The QLED, all those fancy numbers, letters, whatever. Those are nice, but mainly it's the size.
The important part, it was a 65-inch TV.
Yeah.
Didn't really care what else.
Yeah, pretty much. The QLED we did not care at all.
Yeah, we did not care about the smart aspect either.
No.
Actually, dumb would be preferable. However,
it doesn't matter because we're just hooking it up to a TV.
Yeah.
Or hooking it up to a PC, excuse me. And remarkably, as anyone who's looked at TVs will tell you, this was not like some crazy deal. Like, you could get a similar TV on Amazon for this price whenever you're watching this, probably. And like the last time we were in Costco, there was one that was $50 cheaper than when we bought it. Mm-hmm. So this is sort of the main thing. And to talk a little bit about why that size, how big you want your TV is a little bit subjective. But for your average person, you want to be about 8 to 9 feet away from a 65-inch TV to get the, uses air quotes, optimal viewing experience. So,
and that is the length of our room, or the width of our room is.
Just about. Our heads when we're watching it are closer to 10, but you'd have to spend like another $100 or more to get it up to a 75-inch. So we were just like, whatever.
That's fine. It's also, that would be a very, very large TV.
Yeah. Well, that was sort of the other thing. And the bigger it is, the easier it is for kids to get to it.
Yeah.
So.
No, we don't want little fingerprints on the bottom of the TV going smack.
No.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So slightly smaller TV so the little kids can't reach it, frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crazy thing is just TVs are crazy affordable, and you can get one that's basically almost as good as a movie theater TV for your space. Like, not quite. Like, when we go to the movies, we're still like, oh yeah, this is better. But it's not like the world apart it was like when we were growing up, where you had like 30-inch TV and then giant TV.
Did you want to get into the difference of like smart TV versus dumb TV? Because we use it like a dumb TV.
Yes, that's a little more in the parental controls, but we can touch on it now. So the TV is a smart TV. It can connect to the Wi-Fi, but we never have. You have an HDMI. The HDMI goes right into your PC. Basically, all PCs have an HDMI port these days. You just plug it straight in, and you never connect it to the internet, and you just treat it like a monitor for your PC. And then through your PC, you can access all of your video apps, your whatever you use, YouTube, Amazon, Netflix, whatever you have. And on top of that, you can also control it with your smartphone if you really want to. You can connect your TV and your phone, at least if it's an Android. This probably works with other things, but it definitely works with Android. You can connect both of them to Google Home, and then you can control at least some aspects of your TV with your phone if you wanted to cast or something. That's not what we do. We just have a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. So we just sit back on our couch 10-ish feet away and control our TV like that. And that works for watching movies and playing video games. TV is big enough that even if it's a video game where you have to like read a bunch of relatively small script, it still works at that distance.
Yeah, we used to have a much smaller screen, like TV screen, and the document part of the computer aspect was difficult to read. You had to zoom it in a lot. And now we don't have to.
What made email somewhat difficult, and for a number of games, I'd like sit on the floor, like just in front of the TV like I'm a little kid. And one of the things this buys you, it's a little bit of a parental control thing, but also just a quality of life thing, is we don't have to deal with ads.
That's true.
One of the reasons smart TVs are actually cheaper than dumb TVs, this TV, if you got the air quotes dumb version, would be like $600. It's because they're counting on the ads that come with the TV. But if you're not connected to the internet, you don't have to deal with them.
Yeah, they subsidize the TVs with the ad revenue from the smart aspect. And so you can get a cheaper TV by buying the smart TV and then deal with ads. Unless you just don't hook up the TV.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to.
Yeah, this is clearly not what most people are doing with their TV.
Yeah.
So that is the home theater aspect. And I guess to put a button on it. We didn't talk about the speakers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about speakers.
So there are two main benefits that you get from the speakers. One is you can hear the audio, not the audio. You can hear the voices in movies and stuff a lot better. There's some technical.
Oh, is it the music voice balances?
Yes. There's some technical like physics or engineering reason why inbuilt speakers in a TV aren't good at doing the vocal range simultaneously with all the other sounds they need to produce. So that's one of the reasons why audio tracks sound quiet on a lot of TVs. People aren't going deaf. It's just the TV doesn't do that well. But if you get dedicated speakers, they can handle the full range a lot better, and you won't feel like you're going deaf and need to put on subtitles.
So hook up some kind of speaker. But we have like actual speakers that are supposed to be surround sound, but they're not.
Yeah, we did some real Frankenstein stuff to hook up a 5.1 system to a headphone jack. I'm sure it's all kinds of not optimal, but it's way better than inbuilt speakers.
It is much, much better than inbuilt speakers. There's so many things that have bass that I had no idea.
Yeah, that's the second thing is we had the TV and just for contrast played around with it a little bit before we hooked up the speakers. And then we hooked up the speakers and then you're like, oh, there's a bass line to this song. Or, I didn't realize that sound effect had bass to it like at all.
Yeah.
Gets you those two things. Then they're only like a good sound bar, which we'd advocate for. It's probably the smarter thing to do, frankly. Is only like $150 on Amazon. So if you got the TV plus the speakers, it'd be about 500-ish, maybe 400 or 500-ish, something like that. And I'd say what that gets you is like 70% of the going to the movies experience, but it's just in your house.
Also, if you're able to like actually have a room with no light. That gets you the rest, like most of the rest of the way to the movie theater experience. That helps too.
We put it in the basement in a room with no windows. So when you close all the doors, it's dead dark at there, even at noon. And absorbs sound like crazy. So you can have it be at like 60, 70 decibels while the kids are napping and it's still fine. That's probably less common and affordable. I don't know.
Not everyone has access to that one.
No, but the TV and the speakers definitely. So many bad things you hear about, like inflation, and rightly so. But like this is one of the nice things is TVs are apparently immune to it, and they only get cheaper with time. Okay, so now the second part, the gaming PC, and this is probably going to be a lot of me talking.
You like this part? I'm gonna let you talk about it. I know nothing about it.
Okay, so I have on screen 2 parts lists. So let me talk about what I got on screen first. The first is what I actually built. I thought you were going to go get up for a second.
No, I'm just grabbing some water.
The First one is what I actually built in 2024, and the other is what I'd build now. And you'll notice a number of almost all the parts are different, and the newer one is more expensive. So there's a couple of reasons for that. It's partly because some of the older things that I used, they don't really make anymore, and there's like almost no supply left, so now they're like unreasonably expensive for how good they are. So some of the parts are no longer available. And in some cases, the reason why it's more expensive is there's a few pieces that have just gotten insanely expensive. So the only downgrade you'll notice is the hard drive, because memory got crazy expensive. That 1 terabyte hard drive cost me like $40-$50 when I got it. And the 512 gigabyte one was $85 now. So
okay.
Half the storage and more than 50% of a cost increase. So yeah, it's like almost double the cost for half the thing. But most of the other parts are either equivalent or better, which is the good news. Is in particular, if you look at the CPU and the GPU, they're like 40-50% better than the one that I currently have in there. They're also more expensive. The GPU is like another $100.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
Basically the cheapest new GPU you can get, more or less, is like $100 more expensive than the one I got.
Well, you got a previous generation, right?
Yes, which is no longer made, and the generation after that was not as good.
Oh yeah.
So you'd be getting a current generation card, but you're also paying $100 more.
Yeah, because you got a not current generation card. You got the one step removed.
Yep. In 2024, the RX 6600 was a generation old. Yeah. So, and now it's actually not worth it to get the one generation old anymore, because the previous generation is actually not that great. So the current generation is what you get. I'm grossly oversimplifying the graphics card. If anyone knows what they're talking about, A, they shouldn't be watching this video, but B, they're probably tearing their hair out. If you saw this list of parts and he's recommending a B580, why is he not going with AMD? You don't need to watch this video. This is not for you.
You can watch someone else who's much more into tech.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but yeah, basically because parts got old and then the existing parts got expensive, the newer PC is a good bit better, except for the hard drive. It's also a good bit more expensive. However, there's a number of good things that this gets you. First, it's only like $100 more expensive than a gaming console, but it's actually as good or better than a gaming console. So for almost the price of a gaming console, you can have a PC that also plays the video games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main benefit. And it will play, at last I looked, literally any game at 1080p, which if you're watching this video, that's a high enough resolution that you're not going to care. The only part that's relevant is if I back up to the previous thing real quick, the TV's 4K. Don't try play games at 4K. When you open a game, if it's at all slow or laggy, just turn the resolution down to 1080p and you should be fine. Maybe turn off ray tracing too. Without getting too much into the weeds, like it'll basically play it, not basically, it will play any modern game and should be good for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and you've tried out dozens?
Dozens is a stretch, but I've tried out a decent 5 to 10 games, including ones that came out in the last year or two.
Okay.
And it was no problem. I actually accidentally played one in 4K for a bit, and I was like, is this a little bit off? And then I was like, not as smooth as I thought it was going to be. And the computer sounds like a jet engine taking off. And I was like, oh, 4K. Yeah, let me not do that.
It sounds like a person who plays too many video games problem. If you want 4K instead of 1080p.
Yes, more or less. There's a little bit of that thing where, like, if you do it, you can tell a difference, and after a while you get used to that difference, but it's not like going from standard definition to high definition, where you're like, oh yeah, this is obviously way better. It's more like you kind of have to look for it sort of a thing.
From my perspective, if you care about that difference, you need to go take a walk in the woods. Like, just go for a hike, enjoy nature, be outside, please. This
is clearly the person who doesn't play the video games.
Yes, please go outside.
But anyway, basically everyone we've talked who I've had this sort of conversation with, their sort of standard is, will this be able to play such and such video game? And the answer is yes. So this will play the video games that you need them to play. Unless they're Nintendo games, but that's not a performance thing. That's just because Nintendo keeps all of their games to themselves. So yeah, so that's the main pitch. And for us, it ties into our system. So it allows us to if you had a game console, it'd be relatively easy for a kid to just turn it on and then get into. But this ties into our parental controls thing a bit better. But like I said, if you don't want to go the gaming PC route, you can just get what's called a mini PC. I'll probably put a picture of that on screen. They're only like $250, and it does, if you're not playing video games, it does everything a computer needs to do. It won't have a ton of storage, like 100 gigabytes or something, but most of those are upgradable, and they're like tiny. You can fit them in your hands, and it'd be super easy to like duct tape it to a wall. Don't actually do that. Put like a shelf or something, but they're small enough. You could probably actually duct tape it, at least for a short period of time.
Here's I'm going to ask a question that a lot of people are probably going to have. If I get a mini PC, will I be able to stream movies in really high resolution? Please insert whatever this really high resolution is, because I am
4K.
ignorant.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically going to be limited by your HDMI cable, and so yeah, you're going to have no problem with 4K.
Cool.
So
there's your answer.
Don't try to play video games in 4K. You won't be able to play anything newer than like Portal 2 on this thing, and I'm not even sure you could do that.
Oh no. When did Portal 2 come out?
Like 2008 or 2009.
Oh goodness. Okay.
So yeah, if your video games are old enough to 18 vote. If your video games are old enough to vote, you can probably play them on a mini PC.
They're definitely old enough to drive.
Yes. I'm old enough actually to think about what happens when you turn 18 again.
Oh, goodness.
So,
okay.
Anyway, we've gone on long enough.
You can also get drafted.
You can get drafted if you're old enough to go fight overseas. If your video games are old enough to go fight in the wars that they're depicting, then you can play them on a mini PC. So yeah, but that's in a nutshell the pitch for this. Now, 2 quick notes I compared to console. If you build a PC yourself, I'll include a link in the description to a PC building video.
Not pre-built.
Not pre-built. If you get this system-ish pre-built, it'd be like $1,300.
That's a lot more money.
It is a lot more money. The cost to have a company like build and then like validate a PC is a couple $100. And also, they're gonna pick a slightly nicer set of parts than this. Mm-hmm. This is basically the like I said, this is the cheapest new graphics card you can get, and basically one of, if not the cheapest CPUs you can get. And the rest of the stuff is basically just the minimum needed to support those 2 things.
And I remember, like, once you got all the parts for this, you put it together in like an hour.
Oh yeah, it's way more.
It was not a long, tedious, hair-pulling process. It was pretty painless.
It's relatively. You can describe this process relatively quick. You put your motherboard on the box. You put your CPU in the socket, thermal paste on the CPU, fan on top of the CPU. CPU comes with a fan, in case you're wondering why you don't see a fan on here. Your 2 RAMs click into the... Yeah. Just little details. You get the full box version, and it'll come with a fan. Important detail. Okay. You click the 2 RAM pieces into the RAM slots. You slide the NVMe and the hard drive into the hard drive slot. Maybe screw it down.
Yep, I'm seeing the NVMe.
Yes. I should not try to say that quickly.
Yeah, okay.
You slide your you then attach your motherboard to the case with a bunch of screws. Then you slide your power supply in. Then you click your GPU into the PCIe slot, which is just about the only thing you're going to use for that slot. Then you connect all the power supply cables from your power supply to all the components on your motherboard, which you've been attaching, and then there's a few things in your case which you're going to need to get wired in to your motherboard, like the USB drives and the thing. It's almost all of this is plug this into this other thing.
And so many YouTubers have made videos on this, it's not even funny.
Oh yeah. And it's stressful because they're like silicon, and there's like the gold-plated looking pins that are very, very tiny on some of these parts. So you can mess it up, but it's actually harder to mess it up than you would think. And most of the parts that are easy to mess up, like the CPU, are like $100 or less. So you can mess one up and it'll still be way cheaper than getting a pre-built.
Right.
So it's stressful, but it's not actually difficult. Because this is a thing most people are going to do once or twice in like a decade. Mm-hmm. So you're never going to be good at it. And you're going to be dealing with expensive parts. So it's stressful, but not hard. And I will put a link in a video to a like full, unnecessarily detailed build guide in the video description. So if you want to build it. Also, if you actually end up building it, don't just copy this list. Go to a place called PC Part Picker and input the GPU and the CPU. Be like, I want an Arc B580. I want a Ryzen 5 5500, basically whatever the cheapest versions of them are. Make sure you get a CPU that comes in the box so it has a fan, FYI. But once you put those in, you're then going to need to pick the individual parts just using the parameters you see here. And PC Part Picker will make sure that all of those things actually fit. Because these things are sort of broad categories-ish. And if you use a website like PC Part Picker, it'll make sure that all of these things actually talk to each other correctly and will like fit in the case and on the motherboard. So
that's important. Please do that.
Yes. So use these parts, build something on PC Part Picker, follow the build guide in the description if you want to do this, because it's radically cheaper than the $1,300 you'd get to have someone build this for you. And you get to feel all smart and accomplished when it actually boots up.
Yeah.
Or get a mini PC for $250 and don't bother with any of this. And then lastly, I think kind of the most interesting aspect of this is how this all ties into parental controls. And there's a couple of aspects I'm sure we're going to drill down into. But the big thing is, the only way for our kids to access the internet, besides like pickpocketing us and like hacking our phone passwords, is to hack the computer password.
Right now, the only thing my kids can do on my phone is call my emergency contacts.
I'm surprised they haven't called 911 yet. I'm waiting for that
They'd
to happen.
have to be able to dial 911 first. A 2-year-old can't really dial 911.
911 isn't one of your emergency contacts?
No, you have a keypad there. They expect you to dial 911.
Oh, okay, that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
So what they would have to do is they could absolutely turn on the TV, turn on the PC, but then they'd have to log into their account with a password, which we don't tell them. This was sort of the governing philosophy, because I thought about every story I've heard people tell me about getting around parental controls and how people I know, and I, back in the day, got around parental controls was not by hacking passwords. The stories I've heard were things like, when they had access to the router, they'd modify the router settings to get access to the internet. Or they like learn their neighbor's Wi-Fi password or something. Or a bunch of stories about, we used YouTube's parental thing and they found ways around that. Or think like relying on existing apps' parental controls.
I've heard so many stories about how those apps' parental controls fail or something slips through, and just don't go there.
Have you heard any stories about kids hacking their parents' passwords?
I mean, I've heard lots of instances of parents telling their kids their password.
Not finding out the password themselves.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, and I think it would take a much older kid to do that anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think 6-year-olds are going to be like standing over you as you're speed running through your however many digit password and figuring it out.
6-year-olds are probably just barely starting to learn to type.
That is the big governing philosophy, is all of our everything is behind a password. They can't use the TV for it. There's no game console for them to just turn on and do stuff. If they want to do literally anything, they need a password. And the other aspect, which we've there's 2 more things that we've sort of done. The no ads and the you can, by and large, just turn off the internet once you've logged in. So with the no ads, we already talked about with the TV, you don't get it there. But we also, when we're watching our movies, we usually just buy them, wait for them to be on sale for like $6 on Amazon, and then we just buy our movies. Rather
than using the streaming service portion of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've tried those, whatever pieces in the past that have the ads or they're connected to the internet. You actually set up the smart aspect of the smart whatever it is, and then there's just so much content there that we didn't want to be front and center on the screen.
Oh yeah. One of the big things that really got me was we were watching on the kids' YouTube account. We set them up a YouTube account.
Yeah.
And like went through a bunch of steps with Google to curate their ads and like tell them how old they were, I think. And like, yes, this is a kid's account, and go through everything we could with Google to be like, kids are watching this. And we only use the kids account to watch like nature and science videos with like bears and stuff. And even though we jumped through all of those steps, we still got multiple like R-rated horror movie ads.
Yeah.
And I swear there was like a 50 Shades of Grey or something ad.
I'm like, I don't care if it's just a preview that has been rated for all audiences. My kids are going to complain of nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah, and those R-rated horror movie ads are still pretty scary, at least if you're 6.
Yes, or younger.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the one thing we have bought is YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
I think if you get it annually, it's like $12, $13 a month, I think. We don't have to deal with ads, and you can download the videos.
Yeah.
So
there's no ads before the videos, no ads in the middle of the videos, no ads on the sidebar,
Yep.
no ads anywhere.
Yep. And this is cool. You can set up shortcuts on your desktop, like right-click your desktop, do shortcuts, and you can have that shortcut be a URL. It doesn't have to be to something physically on your computer. It can be to a website. And if you have the URL it goes to be a playlist you made for your kids, I thought this is cool. You can click one button to download every video in the playlist, disconnect your internet, and the URL will still work and it'll still look like YouTube. You can watch a YouTube playlist offline.
Yep.
So, which is one of the big things, because obviously if you've bought your videos through Amazon or whoever else, you can also download those and turn off your internet once you're logged in, and they can watch everything offline.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and one thing that Amazon does when you haven't turned your internet off, which I dislike, is once you have watched your thing that you paid and bought for and is yours and you like and your kids like, it will autoplay something else.
Yeah.
That you have not seen before, your kids have not seen before, might not know what it is, and they're just going to play it anyway. And even if it's if you're watching a movie like The Music Man, which apparently Amazon has not deemed as kid-friendly. It's not available on their kid profile. And so if you watch something like that, the thing that autoplays next could be anything.
Yeah.
Because you're watching it on an adult profile.
Yep.
Yeah. Not a fan. I like that we can turn the internet off.
Yeah. It's the nuclear option, I think, for parental controls, is just have your setup so you can log in, disconnect the internet, and then the only things they'll have access to are the things you've downloaded.
Yep.
Which at this point is pretty substantial. Like, it's 250-ish YouTube videos and like a couple dozen movies plus every season of Magic School Bus.
And besides the YouTube Premium, that's just buying 1 or 2 movies on Amazon when they go on sale for $5 every
month or two.
Couple months, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not crazy.
Yeah, I think Netflix, I think the Netflix ad-free and Disney Plus and those things are now like $20 each.
Yeah.
So you could get about 3 movies a month for the same cost as having one of those. And you'd pretty quickly, even if you were starting from scratch, get up to the full set.
Yeah. Or at least the set of what you'd reasonably want to watch.
Yeah. Also, you could do this with most normal TVs, but you can also hook up a DVD player. We still play our DVDs, and they look fine on the screen. We've only watched 1 or 2, and they're obviously not high definition, but they still look actually better than I thought they would. My brain was like auto-filling some like 1930s level film grain onto what I was expecting them to look like. And I was like,
really?
Oh. Yeah, I was like, this is going to be like borderline unwatchable, I thought.
Which I do like watching old black and white movies, so we do actually watch those too.
Yes, but if your 2010 Pixar movie looks like it's from the
Yeah, it doesn't, though.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, it just looks like slightly blurry, and you kind of forget it's even lower definition after a little while.
Yeah.
Because it's still on a giant screen, and you're still hearing it through your speakers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think we touched on everything. That's the setup. You get a 65, 75-inch, something like that, TV. We mount ours to a wall, but you wouldn't have to. You get a gaming PC, or if you want a mini PC, if you don't care about the gaming aspect. Get a sound bar, and if you just get YouTube Premium, so you can download whatever you want from YouTube, and buy your movies on Amazon, you can just do this all completely offline. You'll have to get online to download this stuff, but then you just turn the internet off, and that's all she wrote. That's it in a nutshell. And it was surprisingly affordable that even if you were doing this all the way from scratch, it'd be like $1,300, $800 without the gaming PC aspect. And I think most people are probably going to have at least some pieces of this.
So what all does that $1,300 include? Does that include like a year of YouTube Premium? Does it include the movies?
No.
What all does it include?
So that is, if I've done my math right, that was $350 for the TV.
Right.
That is $150 for the soundbar.
Okay.
That is
Which is optional, but it sounds a lot better.
Like 50-ish bucks for mounting hardware for the TV, and then $750 for the gaming PC.
Okay, got it. Got it.
If parts get cheaper, which we don't know, it could come down, but that's what all that includes. If you want to throw in like, I don't know, $150 for buying all the movies, and then a year of YouTube Premium would also be like $130 or something.
Yeah.
So, but still found surprisingly affordable for the most robust parental controls we've encountered yet, and it's most of a movie theater experience just whenever you want, and you also effectively have a gaming console, except it's better than most gaming consoles because it can play basically any video game ever that wasn't released by Nintendo. So yeah, but it's been sufficiently fun that there was like a year or two with our old setup where I just sort of stopped watching movies because I was just like, whatever.
And movies are fun again.
And movies are fun again. I'll be watching some ridiculous, silly, bad B movie from 20 years ago, and I'm like, this is actually pretty cool because it actually sounds really good. I don't mind that they copy-pasted the same alien 400 times.
Oh, goodness.
So that's our setup. Any final thoughts, impressions, things you've experienced that are noteworthy with the setup?
I have lessons I need to learn for myself in the day-to-day operation of this system, and getting better at turning the internet off and having the video still play. Yeah. I mean, I suppose that's going to be part and parcel of any sort of PC setup. Is customization can be pretty crazy, but it's also usually a little less beginner friendly than probably a smart TV would. Yeah. So. Yeah. But that's also on purpose. That's also on purpose, because if you want a customization option like no ads ever, then the only way you're going to get that is by doing some crazy custom thing. At this point, there basically aren't companies that are going to give up ads. Well, you can go buy a dumb TV. You did your research. You can go buy a dumb TV. But even if you went and got a dumb TV, you then have to go set up like your Amazon or your YouTube so you can do it offline. Yeah. So, which I guess is another point where even if you went and got the dumb TV and you did some other stuff, you'd still have to jump through some hoops to get like the parental controls effect. That's true. So, and you'd be paying a couple of extra $100 because it's not subsidized by ads. Yeah. A little bit of a downer, but probably a realistic note to end the video on is like, if you want your kids to have an experience that is curated for them and not what somebody else wants to give them, then you're going to have to do something in this ballpark to build your own experience for them so they don't get a bunch of stuff that you didn't mean to teach them. Okay, positive note. It's really cool to watch movies, so let's go watch that new Spider-Man thing. Yes. Because I normally... Sounds great. Yay! See you next time. Bye. Yeah, 40 minutes? No way. Okay. We're going to need to cut something.